Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Hi there. Hi, my name is Rob Delaney, and this is Stand Up Central. We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Got a couple great acts for you. Before we get started, I just want to say I had to lose some weight since last year because I became fat. And here's how I found out. I went to the National Air and Space Museum in Washington, D.C. with my wife last year. It's an amazing place. They got rockets and bigger rockets. It's amazing. And they also have scales where you can stand on the scale and it'll tell you what you'd weigh on Jupiter or the moon or Mercury. It's fascinating. When you stand on Jupiter, Jupiter's huge, right? So it has a lot of gravity, so you stand on it and you're like, well, look at that. I'd weigh 7,000 tons on Jupiter. Isn't that fun? And then you can go on to our moon, which is smaller. So you stand on that and you're like, whoa, how about that? Just a little feather is what I'd be on the moon. And so I did those, and it was great. We had a blast. We're high-fiving, having an amazing time. And then there's Earth. There's just Earth, the planet we're on right now. And I stood on that, and I was like, holy shit, this is great. And this is what I said to my wife. Their Earth scale at the National Air and Space Museum is broken. I believed it. And so my wife stood on it, and she's like, I'm familiar with the number it's showing me. I've seen it before, and I believe it's accurate. So the next thing that I believed was, and this is what I said to her, I go, okay, you know what I think happens is that when you're like a little person, it's accurate. And then when it gets up into my realm, it just goes silly. That's what I thought. And so then I was like, we'll get to the bottom of this. And so I bought a scale, and I went home, and I stood on it, and it was the same fucking number. And I was like, oh, my God, I got to do something about this. Plus, I was also eating to the point, like, I really am a disgusting emotional eater. I was just looking at you because you're pretty, and I'd like to get to know you. But here's why I won't. See, with the way that I eat, is I eat like beige food, I eat gray food, I eat like kebab juice, just fucking garbage. And I stuff it down in there until I'm all swollen, and it feels like a hug that I can carry around with me, and then I don't need you or your nonsense. So that's the type of eater that I am. So I'm just fucking disgusting myself. And so I start to lose weight by not eating, and it gradually is working. And then a funny thing happened. I don't know if you guys get the news from America over here, but the president of the United States right now is this guy named Donald Trump. And thank you, yes, he's amazing. He's good at a lot of things, but the thing he's best at is lying. He's like the best liar I fucking have ever, and he's just amazing. He's so good at it. I'm so proud of how good he lies. And a funny thing happened in about January of this year. He had his presidential physical, like his first doctor visit, and they published the results. I don't know why they do that when you're president. Like, I would never let you see my medical tests. It would just be fucking embarrassing and disgusting. And they'd be like, he has athlete's foot, but he won't put the cream on because it stings and it hurts him. Like, I don't want you to know that. And so he just has athlete's foot. Anyway, so but they published the results. And so they put out, first of all, they said that he was 6'3" when he had his physical. Now, we already know that's a lie because he has like just decades of New York State driver's licenses in which he's 6'2". But now he's like, I'm presidential inch, 6'3", fuck you. And so, and then it said that his weight was 239 pounds, okay? Now, I know you guys don't know what that means because you use fucking stones, like, okay, so anyway, here's the thing. American people heard that number and they were like, no, I don't think that he does weigh 239 pounds. I'm familiar with weights and measures. That is wrong. And so people heard that and they were like, I think he's lying because all he does is lie. They were like, I don't know, but maybe he isn't. Like, they didn't know because they thought maybe, I don't know, like if your sons kill a bunch of elephants and then you say the N-word 15 times in private each day, maybe your bones become softer and you just weigh less even though you're fat. Like, maybe they didn't know, that thought that was a possibility. And so, but I fucking knew because on the day that came out, I'm 6'3" for real, and on that day, I weighed 239 pounds. So I knew. The rest of you were like, I think he's lying. And I was like, I know it. I'm in the fucking mirror naked, pointing at my naked body, screaming, the president is a liar! It's like one of the only things I have in common with Stormy Daniels. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your magnificent audience. I'm excited for you, because we're about to start to bring out comedians. Our first act tonight is an amazing guy. Please put your hands together for Mr. Adam Hess.
Yes. How are we doing, guys? Are we good? Well, very good to be here. I love gigging here. I've been gigging all over the place recently. Done a lot of gigs in Scotland recently for about 3 weeks, and it was fun. I love Scotland, but every time I go to Scotland, I learn a new Scottish phrase that we don't have down here, and it baffles me. The phrase I learned this time was, let's say you're in England, go to a bar, order a drink, person behind the bar would say something like, oh, will that be everything then? Yeah? Scotland, they don't normally say that. Scotland, they say, oh, is that you then? But they don't warn us about that. So I was up in Scotland, third day, went to buy some cereal, put it at the till. Man behind the till said, is that you? But he pointed at Coco the monkey. So I said, no. And he said, so what, pal? And I said, a monkey. And he said, what? And I was like, am I a monkey? Is that a bear? I mean, what is my life? And I got scared. I wanted to leave, so I pretended my phone was ringing. So I go, sorry, one sec, but I accidentally took out my wallet, put that to my face. And I don't know if I was just being stupid. I don't know. I feel stupid a lot of the time. I feel stupid a lot, pretty much most nights when I'm in bed, I'm thirsty, and I reach for my water. And every night without fail, I always think to myself, I don't need to sit up for this. It's not like every other time this has gone wrong. Try and wrap your lips around. No, but it was fun being up in Scotland. I was staying with an old school friend of mine. His name was Reese. Reese, by the way, a boy that used to brush his teeth with hot water. Now he works for Google. Fuck everything. He's a muscly guy. He's got a big heart tattooed on his bicep with the word granddad written on it, which, I mean, looks good now, but obviously one day he's just going to look like a very arrogant granddad. And it was fun living with him, but, there was too many jokes and pranks going on. After about 4 days, I had to insist on a prank ban, because I thought, okay, someone is going to die here. And he agreed to the prank ban, which was good. So that night, I hid under his bed. While he was brushing his teeth, I hid under his bed, to spook him for when he came back. But I fell asleep for, an hour, and then when I woke up, I'd forgotten where I was. I thought I was in a coffin. I started screaming. He started screaming. And then I rolled out from under the bed because I was scared, but it coincided with him jumping out of the bed onto my body. And he couldn't see what I was because it was dark, and I've never seen a naked man from beneath before. And also, seeing as I screamed directly beneath his head, he didn't realise straight away it was me screaming. He thought it was coming from inside his own head. It was horrible, but I've got a lot in common with him. Went to the same school, got the same birthday, which is cool, but it's sad because my birthday is December 25th. Yes, very sad. You don't get any extra attention, any extra presents. I got one birthday card last year. It was from an orangutan I sponsor called Seamus. And on the front of the card was a picture of Seamus. How arrogant of Seamus! Got the train home from Scotland. It was a 7-hour journey, very boring. I was sitting opposite a very cool-looking guy. He looked like he was called Zach. And halfway through the journey, I needed to call my friend, so I called her, and I said, hello, you. But then it cut out. Now, I don't know if you've had the phone cut out on you on the train before. It's humiliating. What do? You can't hang up, especially after you've done an audacious greeting, because you look like a hostage taker. Hello, you. So you just gotta improvise this conversation and make it wind down. So I tried to do that, and he was looking at me like, mate, we know you fucked it. It was so obvious. It was like, have you ever been on a train, a person opposite you's been asleep, and then they wake up and they go... try to work out if they've missed their stop based on what those horses look like. And then they say to you, sorry, have you gone past Reading? And you go, yeah. And they go, okay. And you can tell they're so desperate to ask, sorry, how long ago did we go past Reading? And they're like, no, one question maximum. I mentioned that to my mum. I said, Mum, is that train thing funny? Shall I say it on stage? And she said, no, and stop being a comedian. Anyway, I'm going to bed now. Thank you very much for me. My name's Adam Hess. Good night.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's hear it for Adam Hess. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. See you soon. And so we started to coitus, and it's kind of, and she's like, oh God, and I'm like, and you know, oh, it's awful.
Does anyone who's got a mobile phone ever look in the contacts in your phone and think, who the hell are you? Like, I've got someone down in my phone as Ron, kill on sight.
Welcome back. All right. So, I have some fun news. My wife and I went swimming yesterday at the beach. Yeah, thank you. It was pretty good. At one point, a wave came and it kind of knocked me over, and I'm very delicate. And the wave went into my nose and mouth and soul, and I coughed a lot and climbed out of the water, and I was like, oh my God, I think I'm gonna die. Where did the wave go, though? Because it just went in me and it just never came out. And I was like, this is strange. There seems to be quite a bit of water inside my body now. And we went home, and there, nothing happened. But then later that night, my wife and I thought, you know what? We haven't had sex in 4 months. Want to give it a go? And so we started to coitus. And I'm on top of my wife doing the best I can, which is not great. And and she's like, oh God, and I'm like, and oh, it's awful. But then the wave that had gone inside my body, then at that moment came out of my sinuses and through my nose and just all over her face. Not a lot, like maybe 7 cups of water just rushed out of my nose all over. And she started screaming. She leapt up onto the ceiling like a spider and was like, never again! Probably for the best. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have our headlining act now. I'd like you to put your hands together for Mr. Joe Wilkinson.
Not sure I can be asked. No, I have to do it, contractually obliged. Do you want an iPod, mate? Yeah, go on in. It's an expensive opener, isn't it? Just stop doing that. It's costing me a fortune. 73 quid down. Never mind. It was my birthday last year. Was it last year? I think it was last year or year before. I'm getting old. And the thing I didn't realise, apparently when you get old, your testicles start hanging a lot lower. But I didn't think mine had actually started to hang that low. Well, I didn't until I walked down my hallway in just my dressing gown and one of my plums knocked over a Wellington boot. That takes the edge off the day, doesn't it? Now, I don't want to sound like I'm showing off, but I own a mobile phone. Why not? I'm earning. It's pay as you go, I'm not an animal. But does anyone who's got a mobile phone ever look in the contacts in your phone and think, who the hell are you? I don't remember putting you in my phone. Like, I've got someone down in my phone as Ron, kill on sight. Who the hell's that? Do you ever see that Starbucks got in a bit of trouble because they found traces of shit in their coffee? I thought, come on, what's the big deal? I think the key word here is traces. Yeah? It's not like they found a dollop. You couldn't get the lid back on. Actually, can I get a fresh one? Can I get a fresh one? I went on a blind date recently. That was nice. We decided to meet under the clock in Waterloo Station, because that's romantic, isn't it? And just before she was about to arrive, she texted me and she said, "How will I recognise you?" So I text back and I said, "I'm the bloke with 4 Alsatians having a few cans." 3 days I waited under that fucking clock. Oh, you people. Well, oh yeah, I've got really into websites. They're a bit of all right, aren't they? Do you like websites? I love them. If you're not into websites, I cannot recommend them enough. They're superb. Absolutely love them. Like, one of my favourites is a website. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's called eBay. If you don't know eBay, it's essentially electronic bay. It's the simplest ideas that always work. So I've really got into eBay, and so the other day I was on it, and I was buying a sawn-off shotgun for my niece. She's at that age. It's what she wanted. She's a princess. So I ordered the shotgun, and when it arrived, I'm not going to lie to you guys, I was fucking furious. I was fucking furious. Because when it arrived, right, I'm not going to lie to you, I was fucking furious. They'd sent me the wrong end. They sent me the end without the gun on it. It's a scam, guys! It's a scam. I was furious. Utterly furious. I was so furious that I was going to leave some quite negative feedback on eBay. But then I remembered that they still have my address and the other end of the gun. So in the end, I just wrote, "Very prompt delivery." A lot of people say they meet weirdos on public transport, right? But I've been chatting to people on buses and trains for years. I've never met one. Not an avatar. I got on a bus, right? And I walked over to this girl. I sat on her lap. We got chatting. It's going well. It's going very well, actually. We hadn't made eye contact, but I was pretty confident it was going to happen because it was going very well indeed. And then I downed a jar of Lloyd Grossman's Boona curry sauce. And suddenly she gets all weird. Right? She slams on the brakes. Kicks me off the bus. I had a good mind to go down to that bus depot, but it was late and I had next to nothing on. I never understand why people find it weird that when I use the toilet, I sit facing the cistern. So what? Sue Lawley does it. Do you know Sue Lawley, the radio broadcaster? You know? She shits facing the cistern. You not read her autobiography? You not read Sue Lawley's autobiography? What the fuck is wrong with you people? What the hell is going on? Some kind of... Is this a setup? Have you not read Sue Lawley's? I take it everywhere with me. Have you not... Right, I'm going to read a bit. I'm just going to read it. I don't know if this is a wind-up. I'm going to read a bit. I don't know what's going on. Studio 16B is about as far removed from a desert island as you could imagine. Fuck off! That's how she starts! Fuck! Tucked away at the end of a maze of corridors, it's cleaned quite often, but always remains dusty. It's also a victim of an eccentric central heating system that only allows two temperatures, stifling hot or freezing cold. Oh, and by the way, I shit facing the system. She says it 56 times. Not a great believer in ending on a high.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joe Wilkinson. That was awesome. All right, everybody, that was the show. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. Take care. Tune in next time. We'll see you later. Thanks a lot.